It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him.
It really boils down to our ability to accept. We don't need pessimism.
What he means by pessimism is resistance. And that's what COINTELPRO was all about, stopping the resistance.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change.
We hide it in plain sight. One of Plato's greatest works was the allegory of the cave. I feel in order to understand the political matrix, we need only to look into this allegory. We first have to open our minds to the possibility everything is not as it seems. That things we've always known to be truth may be lies. For if we can't perceive the lies we've ingested, we can't see the bars on our mental conditioning. For that is how you walk out of the cave and see the political matrix. Hello, everybody. Very excited.
I'll be like, the hinges on the industrial ovens.
She's live, but I mute her real quick, and then we'll get started. Shout out to everybody. Welcome to a Saturday stream, which we're going to be, I told you guys we'd be moving back to Saturday, so this is one of our first days. We're going to be trying to work out the time and figure it out. I'm thinking this might actually work out to be roughly a good time now, so I don't know, this might stick. But first off, we got a couple of topics that we definitely got to talk about. Of course, you guys know the Charlie Kirk assassination. We got to talk about that most definitely. But there's a couple other topics that I noticed that are going on that I don't want us to lose sight of. We have the Israel versus Turkey. Question mark. It's a possibility. So I just kind of want to weigh in on it before, if it does open up, kind of what to expect if that becomes the new face of the war. So just kind of wanted to hash that out a little bit. Also want to talk a little bit about Bolsonaro, convicted 27 years. So that's going to be interesting, the repercussions that may come from that. Couple other things, as you guys can see, here with an esteemed colleague and friend, Steve Poikinen.
What's happening? I'm stoked to hang out with you. We did not get to do that on Labor Day this year. I was bummed. So I've been looking for a reason to, and here it is. So happy to be here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I was so worn out and drained, all the shit that I had going on. I just completely just slept through it. I even set an alarm to get up to try to, it's like, you know what, maybe let me just see if he's live and I'll hop in the chat and say something, but it didn't work this year. But hey, got you now. And honestly, what's going on right now, I don't think it's a better time for us to talk and put our brains together. So I want to throw a shout out first to the chat. I see you guys out there. I see Laney is in the building. Warren's in the building. Abundance Protocol. Dingo is there. Myra's mom. And I'm pretty sure we got a couple other people who are watching, whether you're watching from Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, wherever you guys are at, or if you guys catch this later on or catch clips. I know we do have our buddy Greg who occasionally like to clip some things and put them different area, or who knows, Six might get a hold of some of this and put it up on one of the reviews. And also shout out to anybody as you guys start to come in there. You guys know also on top of the crazy stuff, we got fight weekend also. A big, huge fight. One of the biggest fights that everybody's been wanting for. Literally, fight fans, we've been wanting this fight for God knows how long. So I'm not going to drown out too long because we'll get into that and then all the other wonderful shows that'll be going on later on. Steve, I'm sure he'll be popping in on some stream.
Oh, today?
Yeah, probably later
Yeah,
on.
yeah. No, actually, man, the Unjected crew, the dating site for people who did not take the Trump juice.
Okay.
They for a while there were getting like folded into the wellness company, and they had a very bad experience with that. So they're like doing a whistleblowing thing on the wellness company today. I'm gonna hop in on that.
Okay.
It is Saturday night. There's a Saturday night anarchy.
Mm.
Weezy hit me up a while ago, talking about maybe because we do UFC commentary.
Mm-hmm.
And he hit me up a couple hours ago, like, "Hey, should we maybe do the Canelo Crawford fight?" So you're welcome to join in on that if you want. If you want to be locked in, I totally understand. You know, but I'll throw that invite out there for sure.
I'll probably just hop in for a couple minutes. Probably be like, "Get over here! What are you doing?" So I'll
No,
probably.
that's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We do that, and we talk conspiracy stuff in between rounds.
Yeah, and so I mean, yeah, I might hop in. It depends on it if I'm allowed to, if I get permission.
Okay.
You know how that goes.
Well, it's nothing set in stone, but
Wow, what happened with your mic? It went kind of wonky for a second.
Really?
Oh, now it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like a couple of words just said. But yeah, so let's go ahead and hop right into it. Oh, wait a minute. Myra's mom had something to say on that. Said, I got messages from the wellness company. They sent out a text every freaking day. I took an interest because of the I wonder if we could talk about it now. Hydroxychloroquine.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this. We've talked about the wellness company for a couple of years on AM Wake Up now, because we found out through just some cursory research that one of the co-founders, Colson, or what, Palmer Colson, that's his name. His family owns Colson Aviation, which is a military contractor in Canada. They're also the primary response unit when there's a wildfire. And since they've gotten that contract, there have been more and more and more wildfires, which is kind of weird. His other partner, whose name is escaping me, but I'm sure they'll discuss it on the Unjected thing, is a former private military contractor, has extensive ties with, and the Colson family also has like extensive ties in the bio medical research and development industries. Similar interests for the people that put up the money for the Blackwater co-founder dude. So they're shady, and it's very, very much worth looking into at some point. If you don't catch it live today, please do go check it out at some point, because it is going to be revelatory for a lot of people.
Oh, it definitely sounds like it. And I've been kind of one of those people where I've been just waiting down the road, because I remember talking to you when a lot of this stuff was first going on in 2019, and I was saying that I don't know the ins and outs. I'm not like Ryan, or some of those other guys who like really have dug into it and knew all that stuff and was catching it right off the bat. I just knew that because my cousin used to do these research studies, and I always freaked out and was worried about him being a younger like teenager. And I was like, how long does it normally take for trial testing and this? And so I was always thinking long term, what's going to happen to you, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the line? Because a lot of those drugs, they do test them that far out. It just became all of a sudden that, now we're just going to throw something out there, and we've only worked on it for 6 months, or we'll re-engineer it within 6 months and just throw it out to everybody. And I was like, I don't know a whole lot about that, but I don't like the way that sounds. And so I always wondered, what are we going to see from people 2 years down the line, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. That's where I think it's really going to be an impact, because I have issues that I've questioned medically with me going back to my military days, which I think now I have to, worry about, because I was going to get regular MRIs to just double check to see if I didn't have any kind of different cancers and stuff, without going too much information on everybody. But being around some of the different equipment that I was around in the military, my cards and everything would get wiped clean all the time.
Yeah.
So we our barracks rooms, we had almost like the hotel key style, and so my room keys, my all my credit cards, debit cards, all that shit would keep getting wiped clean, and so I'd always have to go back to the bank to get new shit. And I'm like, if that's doing that to these cards and stuff in my pocket, what is it doing to everything else that's around there? In that torso growing region, what's going on? And it freaked me the hell out the first time. I felt like, wait a minute, I feel a fucking lump. And so it's just something to just keep in mind, because that was something, my military days when I was around that kind of shit, we're talking about like 20 years ago. And so the same thing with this, how will people be 20 years down the road after all this shit?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely, dude, it's definitely a concern. It's something that, in the post Agent Orange era, the technology didn't necessarily get safer. It just got harder to detect, or and people don't have names for the stuff that, the Afghanistan and like Iraq 2 vets are back with.
Yeah.
We've ramped up military presence in Africa steadily since about 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And now the military is going ham in like 4 different African countries.
Yeah. Well, and then on top of that, I would bring up the fact that I feel the military has gotten, not that like all these government agencies had credibility and all that, but I feel they have went even further at being deceptive and dishonest. I mean, I felt like there was at least this little, okay, we're shitbags, but at least we got these rules that we're not going to do this and this to each other. Where now I think all of that's out of the window. Like, nothing. There's no like honor amongst thieves at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm between the Ukrainians, the Israelis, U.S. military, what people do on their own to each other in their own countries at all times. Anyway, yeah, it's bad times right now. The whether color revolution or not, or U.S. versus China covertly going on in Nepal right now. France has been on fire. Poland is getting super weird. Belarus is getting super weird. They're talking about Article 5 of NATO being invoked with movement of Polish troops into Ukraine.
Yeah.
Because there was that, a drone fell in my neighbor's yard 3 feet into the freaking Polish countryside.
And we're taking that as an aggression.
Yeah. Remember they tried that a couple of years back too. There were some missiles that landed but didn't explode, ordnance, and like there was a little crater as well in a Polish field, and they were like, Vladimir Putin has invaded Poland, and everybody was like, no, look, here's the markings on the shell. This is clearly a Soviet era that was given to the Ukrainian military that they launched. It went off course. Here's the blah, blah, blah for it. And in real time, we managed to avoid an Article 5 invocation. But yeah, I guess they were like, fuck it. We'll run it back.
Well, they want a justification of it. I always forget this lady's name, but she was going into I think Chris H. You reminded me of her name. She was on Garland show. She kind of goes on Garland show regularly, and she was kind of breaking down the kind of the mental gymnastics and the purview of the the European NATO states, how basically they have not taken care of their countries. Yes, Jodi Brar, that's her name. How they have not taken care of things on the home front, and they're getting kicked out of all of their former proxies, whether that's in different parts of Africa, different parts of the Middle East, different parts of the Caribbean, all those things like that. And they're not able to bring in all those additional resources. And now people on the home front are starting to struggle, along with all the foreign ventures that brought in higher populations of people through immigration and all these different issues. But they're not handling things on the home front. And so they have thought that we have weakened Russia enough that now we can kind of make our approach, and they're weak, so now we can take them. And anybody who knows anything about Russia knows that Russia has, weed, they have oil, they have natural gas, they have like so many different resources where people who are, resource, kind of famished, it could really like completely change the whole map for like a Great Britain, a France, Germany, Italy, a bunch of those different countries. Like I remember when I was in Italy, like blown away at everything is straight except for gas prices and stuff. And that was because of the deal that they get from Libya, because the United States deal that they have on the oil market screws everybody else. And they have to go to the secondary and third countries, which makes everything a lot more expensive because you have so many more countries all trying to make deals. And so the supply and demand is way off. It makes everything more expensive over there. I don't know. I rambled a whole lot. I don't know if that made any sense.
No, it does. But yeah, they've all been getting resource squeezed for, the last however many years. In France, they're setting stuff on fire because they sacked a cabinet minister, who was set to potentially take over for Macron, who got a vote of no confidence, is going to force a snap election, something like that. And the dude had the audacity to go, hey, maybe if the government wasn't subsidizing 80 to 85% to 100% of everyone's lives, we'd have a better handle on things a little bit. And they were like, you got to go, pal. And so they ran him out on a rail. And then the no confidence vote happened. Like the government in France is effectively in shambles, non-functioning. And so, the French do what the French do, which is get in the street and set stuff on fire until they all get tear gassed and run away or get arrested.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Let me read this from Chris H. This is a good question. It says, no wonder Georgia Maloney was exposing the CFA Frank system on live TV. France screwed up Italian access to Libyan oil. Is that right? Yes, that is correct. And a lot of people think of Italy and France as like so separate, but like they're neighbors, and a lot of things affect. In fact, actually, when you get to the Riviera, because a lot of people think of the French Riviera, there's an Italian Riviera also. It goes right across, and so a lot of different oil things. Like imagine living in a city that sits on a border of two states. Those states are constantly competing on different interests within that city, and that's the kind of same thing, because a lot of their bulk and wealth comes from kind of that region. And if you expand out a little bit more, you have like Nice, and you have Nice on the French side, and you have Rome that's not that far away on the other side. And so all of the wealth, money, all that is concentrated in that area. And then you can even follow the Riviera and that like Italian coastline around a little bit more, and that takes you right around to like Sicily and Malta and all those things like that. And that's where a lot of the wealth of those two nations center right there. And so a lot of oil and stuff like that deals are definitely affected within that region, because Libya is the number one supplier of oil to those two nations. Well, I don't know if number one, but I know that they're a huge source of the oil.
Yeah, and there's always, competition over who can undercut who.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're very cutthroat.
yeah, it's pretty savage.
Man, that's a good little side quest that we went on. For those who don't know, Till is here. Till is got cooking up something nice on the skillet. Put something good in her belly. But yeah, she'll hop right in a second. While we're talking about these different countries and world leaders, we've had the news of Jair Bolsonaro, and so it says that he's getting 27 years in prison. Now, of course, there's still going to be appeals and things like that that'll go on, and we have the Trump administration, which is like very displeased with it. Now, I've heard even little Marco talking about all the different things. There's going to be repercussions and all that. And I was wondering, Steve, what do you think is going to come about of that? Do you think it's going to be anything any different than more sanctions, or are they going to try some more shady, underhanded shit?
Well, I mean, given the amount of chaos that has erupted all over the planet at this point, it wouldn't surprise me at all if it ventured almost immediately towards the more underhanded aspects of it. I don't know. I mean, it's shit's popping off everywhere right now.
Well, I mean, what you're saying makes a lot of sense to me if you think, Venezuela's not that far away and you see the shit that's going on right there. And on top of that, just in general, with them changing it to the Department of War now, it seems to me like they're more than likely going to take a more aggressive approach. And just understanding Republican politics in general, whether that's been somebody who's, a so-called rhino or somebody who's more, more in the vein of Trump or somebody else, one thing is consistent: the donors on that side are really big on oil. And the Koch brothers in particular have been dying to get into the whole Venezuela, Brazil market for that type of crude, because it's a different type of oil that we normally get from the Gulf and, from what's the one that we get out of Canada? I'm trying to remember. It's
the shale oil.
Yeah, it's a different type of oil. And so the way that they pump that shit out of the ground is different, and it's very, very, very expensive to just buy all the new equipment and switch up. Well, it's not too expensive for them, but they're not about to do that because it's going to cost too much as far as profits and losses as far as shareholders and things like that. So it's just easier to find a new location and suck it out of there. And so right now, South America is the place that's the most abundant and easiest to try to take from. Of course, Russia, we already know that area, they're abundant, and into the Arctic and stuff. That's the reason why Trump and all them are really talking about, taking over, Greenland. That's the reason why that's the thing, because that would get a foothold into trying to go into the Arctics and stuff. Another way separate from Alaska. So that way you can do a pincer movement and come from both directions on Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, just for those who haven't been paying attention to geopolitics and all this shit that's going on with all the domestic stuff. I mean, we had another school shooting. I mean, it's starting to get to the point where they happen every Tuesday now. But we had that go on. What else am I forgetting that I wanted to bring up before we start getting into the real nitty gritty thing? Oh, well, shoot, if we're already talking about that area, I saw an article that I wanted to bring up. Let me see if I can get back to it. I found an article from, I guess I probably don't even need the article. I probably can bring it up from my memory. But about Israel and Turkey.
I have a Haaretz article.
That's probably the one that I'm talking about.
Let's see. Did I queue it up?
Yeah, if you got it.
Yeah, I can either screen share it or drop it in the private chat, however you want to do it.
Yeah, just go ahead and screen share it. Because that's the one that. Yep, that's the one. And it says Could Turkey be next in Israel's crosshair after Qatar? The consequences catastrophic. If all-out war breaks out amid rising tensions between Turkey and Israel, the result would be not just another Middle Eastern conflict or a one-off Doha-style strike, but a strategic earthquake that alters the global balance of power. So much encompassing right there just in that headline. And I saved something I saw Yonina put in the chat. And I wanted to share this comment real quick. It says, I told you Turkey, the 7 churches of Asia are located in Turkey. That is true. Of course, you already know that. I know that. And this is what I try to tell people. I say, even if you don't believe in the Bible or prophecies, there are people with power who are trying to manifest certain things. And so whether you believe it's done by divine intervention or whether there are people who are just making things happen and trying to push towards what they call it, accelerationism. This is something that you have to factor in, because I tell people you don't have to believe what these people believe. You don't have to believe what I believe. You don't have to believe what Steve believes or Till. But you do need to know what the people who have power at the top believe, because what they believe is going to be indicative on how they do things, and it's going to affect all of us. So let's read a little bit. The Shin Bet Security Services announced last week that it thwarted a Turkey-based Hamas cell plot to
Sorry. I can't even. I don't. But hey, guess what? The part that we need for Greater Israel, we just thwarted a Hamas cell.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes, technically they are kind of busy, and it probably is a little bit difficult to get out if the entire story for the last almost 2 years has been we have them trapped like rats in tunnels. It's probably difficult unless the tunnels go under Israel in order to get to that particular area of Turkey, or you'd have to tunnel all the way under Jordan. The leap of logic is, but sure, a Turkish Hamas. By all means, continue.
No. You're right, Stephen. I'm glad you brought that point up, because I don't think people get when we're talking about Israel in general, and the whole thing is basically the size of New Jersey, what a lot of people say all the time. It's not a giant area. Now, you do have a part of it that starts bordering up of Turkey, which technically is considered Asia also, even though to me the kind of feel of the country feels still mostly Middle Eastern, even though it's considered a European country. I don't get how you supposedly creep all the way over here when you're struggling there, and it's literally outside of London, probably the most surveilled area in the whole entire world, if not more than London.
They brag on it being the most surveilled area on the planet.
Yeah, so you're telling me that you're able to surveil everything, and somehow they snuck out and they were going to do this Hamas style. And that's another thing. This is another way you know that they're being deceptive. They know that even within so-called Hamas that they're fighting, Hamas is not just Hamas. It's a bunch of different, freedom fighter groups, multiple different groups that all have different leaders in different ways, and they're not all working in unison. It's kind of like if you come to a neighborhood and you have 10 different cliques, but they hate you as the outsider, you're fighting them. They're not checking with each other on what to do. So it's kind of crazy how they even try to use the whole Hamas, everything is Hamas, all is Hamas. But this is kind of wild to me, because you have a lot of people who are in Turkey. The population of Turkey have long wanted the leaders of Turkey to get involved. And it seems like now they're trying to put more pressure on Turkey to get involved, to give a reason, a provocation that they can go in and do whatever the hell they want to. And like Turkey said, Greater Israel Project.
Yeah, well, and let's also not forget that Turkey wants to get in fully on the Balkanization of Syria.
Mm-hmm.
So Turkey's incentivized now, the government and the military, in a way that they haven't necessarily been for decades.
Yeah. I mean, it blew my mind thinking about when I was in Turkey, and I was like, wait a minute, Iraq is right there? Like, it's that close? Like, Iraq is right there, not too far away. Iran is over here. Like, you're really close to a lot of that stuff when you're in Turkey, and it's easy to not to click in your head that you can easily take a nice train ride and boom, you're right there at the border of like all kind of craziness.
Yup. I love the spin that this guy is putting on it because it is so typical Hasbara, just absolute preying on emotional knee-jerk responses to get you to ignore the fact that none of this actually happened or is happening.
Yeah,
at least not in this way.
And to try to say that they tried to plot to assassinate National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir. Come on, really?
He's a man of the people. He's always among them, frequently waving around a pistol, surrounded by armed guards. But man of the people.
That dude spends like 99% of his time in Israel in the settlements.
Yes.
So
yeah, or in Tel Aviv, threatening parking guards. Parking lot attendants.
When he has to go and give out more money to the settlements or cast a vote, yeah, he's in Tel Aviv. But the rest of the time, he's in the settlements, whipping up his militias, basically. And so, or trying to find a way to starve more people.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that, yeah, a Hamas-style attack based out of Turkey is somehow going to come to Israel and attack him? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Right. Yeah. Turkish Hamas is
Turkish
Hamas is going to go to some kibbutzim, in occupied Palestine, and their crack team of Turkmas or whatever it is, going to single-handedly take out the national security minister, whom, given the title, one would assume has plenty of security around him.
Oh, yeah.
Have the Hamas Turks infiltrated Ben-Gvir's security detail? Is that what they're trying? Because this is everything from here on is fantastical. It's nonsense. It's fiction. It's okay. This, of course, it didn't happen, but what if it did? And then what if something else happened terrible? And all of this justifies a preemptive war and massive bombing of yet another country, which would be 8 in 10 months.
That's okay, though, guys.
Yeah, that's like saying, what if I won the lottery? And then if I won the lottery, then I would just like go and buy up like all my enemies' houses and set them on fire. So because I would do that, they might kill me. So you know what? Maybe I should just go ahead and kill them. It's like, what? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And honestly, this kind of mentality is the mentality that's been going on throughout basically most of their history. Actually, I would take beyond their history. I would say to the founding of Zionist movements, in Israel, well before the First and Second World War. This has been the mentality and manipulation and power grabs and all of this weird, calculations. And then they wonder why, I don't get why everybody thinks we're doing this and that. We're not saying that it's necessarily every single Jewish person. That's not what we're saying.
Nah, but if y'all always like to say that all niggas was not cool, and y'all like to come together and say black people as a whole this, and black people, well, apple juice as a whole this, I'm sorry. Y'all niggas is trash as a whole. Until y'all can't unhold us, we can't unhold you. Yeah,
Yeah.
baby, I'm here. I had some shit to do. I had to go get me a Red Bull and meet up with my boy. I gotta be a little hedgeman baby right now. I gotta be a little stomp to be talking about this shit. Cause child, we had a hell of a week, didn't we? We missed one fucking show. World blows up. Didn't we tell y'all that?
Yeah. Good Lord. Yeah.
Look what happened. Now, to build off of this, Steve, not to get too far off the apple juices, this week, France was telling all the hospitals, hey, y'all, hospitals, get ready. We're going to start next year. Next year? Wait a minute. What you talking about, France? You saw that, right? Now, I don't really want to believe any country fuckery because I don't even like our own country's fuckery. I'm over trying to believe the news and keep up with I'm just trying to live my life.
Right.
I'm at a point where it's just day to day. But the people that I do listen to are the ones that claim to be the most diplomatic. So if Switzerland came out their face and said, hey, y'all need to start buying toilet paper. Nigga, I'm buying toilet paper, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If France says, hey, y'all, hospitals, get ready for war, I'm paying attention now. Well, okay? I know him and his nigga bitch might be fighting. I don't know what's going on in his personal life. You know what I'm saying? He might be getting boxed up every night. I don't know. Okay, I'm not the washer or the dryer. But if somebody tells hospitals, and if Switzerland starts telling me how to move my money real loud and real public with it, I'm gonna start paying attention because it's letting me know that this little situation with the apple juice people, it's getting out of hand. It's getting real out of hand. Steve, bring your ass. Oh, sorry, somebody's comment covered Steve's face. I thought you clocked out for a second. I was about to get mad.
No,
but yeah.
What?
But yeah, after reading this about Turkey and Hamas and then looking at how other countries are starting to like work in silence, but in public, like telling their citizens to get ready. Oh, hell yeah. Shit about to pop off in about 3-4 months.
Well, I don't know if you've heard this because I got to give y'all like the religious news updates because everybody doesn't follow any of that stuff. But right now in the whole Christian world, which I am not a Christian, I am a man of faith, but different stuff. But you get what I'm saying? Right now, there's this whole push about talking about the I can't remember what it's called right now. Damn it. Where everybody gets sucked away.
The rapture.
Yeah, the rapture Christians are back at it again. They say September 26th is the date when the rapture is going to happen and they're all going to start getting sucked away. There's been people already starting to sell all their goods. I've seen it on CBN. I've seen it on multiple different Christian YouTubers. So that's the new thing they're saying. And then I remember one of the war statistics guy where he was doing all his little calculations and shit. And he was saying that by, February 2026, we will be in full-blown war.
I heard February. Who'd you hear that from?
I can't remember whose show it was on, but
I heard it too. Maybe we watched the same show. Maybe you sent it to, I don't know. Maybe you sent it to, I don't think you sent it to me either. I don't know about that one, but I heard February.
He's making the rounds, and he's saying that per his model, that we shall be in World War III by February.
Yep.
So I'm like, and then, on that note, the big news with the whole Christians and everything. I mean, because all of this kind of stuff kind of intertwines, and at this point in the show, we're going to start probably everything's going to get interwoven. But, the Epstein stuff.
His birthday list?
His birthday list with some of these people who are involved in some of this stuff. It's mind-boggling to me because we're talking all the NATO and UN stuff and some of these names and contacts of some of these people who have put a lot of these things into motion that we're dealing with right now. So I don't know. Maybe that's off how I threw that in there, a rough transition, but I don't know. Steve, what do you think?
I mean, Sure, it makes the Trump administration look more like cover-up lying douchebags because they are. But I think everybody knew that, and there's no new information that came out of it. It's like the softest of all possible disclosure. as far as that goes. Yeah, the administration gets egg on their face, and you get to watch Prayer Circle with Pam Bondi before she goes out and lies about it. I don't, on the grand scheme of things, I don't know even if that's moving the needle too much, because the people who were through with MAGA originally, when he came out and was like, Jeff Epstein, the financier guy, oh, he's dead. No, we did what? I don't know what you're talking about. And then turned that into, okay, I do know what you're talking about. It was all a Democrat hoax. And, the people that were over it then, at this point, this is just like a little extra demoralization for them. I don't know if there was anybody that was really on the fence after that, because there was that whole influence campaign to get people to be like, look, you guys, the Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. So there were all these right-wing pundits that got sucked into repeating that. I'm sure they got paid well for it, but I don't know if it moves the needle. How about you?
Yeah. I don't know, Till. What do you think? I mean, I don't know if it moves the needle either, but I just kind of feel like the whole thing is, it's kind of like your significant other is cheating, and kind of like, okay, now I see the text messages.
What?
That's how I see it.
Hell no. You know what I see? Bitch, tell me who on that fucking list. I don't give a fuck about this birthday card, bitch. I want the real shit. That's like,
okay. There's no list. You know that, right?
There's no list. I know there's no list.
Okay.
Because it's every fucking body. But this is what, let me get my analogy, Steve. Let me cook. This is where everybody in the world is that is not watching our show. Okay? They want the list. Y'all tell me about this birthday card. Niggas signing birthday cards. Ooh, wow. Cool. Where's the list, though? Like, y'all keep giving us this. We got this list. We're going to read this list. We about to go into the floor and read this list. Y'all ain't about to read shit. Because at the end of the day, ain't shit to give us. We got that. But the way that they're feeding it is pissing me off. That's the only thing that's pissing me off, is how they're fucking making this story out. It's like you went to Longhorn. You was like, yeah, let me get that filet mignon that you got on sale right now. That shit look real good. Yeah, the Parmesan crusted one. And then what they give you? A fucking hamburger. Nigga, this ain't even what I asked for. I asked for steak and fries. You brought me a hamburger and some sweet potato tots. What that birthday list got to do with the price of tea in China, or the price of tariffs in America? What? I don't give a fuck about Epstein no more. That shit old news. Now, if Epstein,
the focus is just to kind of distract a little bit. And
it gotta be
put it more back on him.
Thank you, because that's all it is a distraction. All they're trying to do is fucking get us sidebar. They're like, oh yeah, Epstein shit going over here. No, nigga, what's getting blown up across the water?
Mm-hmm.
Did he know somebody that's in cahoots with these people across the water? Because what's happening across the pond is really important. Also, what's happening down in Brazil? Is it Brazil or Colombia? Come on, Steve. Did you talk about it this week?
Which one?
The president that tried to run the coup. He did.
Oh, well, that was Venezuela. But also Brazil. And now in Brazil, the president who's in office now put the president who previously put him in prison.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yo, South America is crazy. That's vigilante land. Yeah, I love them. That's justice.
Yeah. Lula was put in prison first, and now he's basically he was freed, and now he's putting him in prison.
That's what happens when you fucking let Nino Brown
none of the fucking corrupt judges that put both of them in prison, they all get to hang out. The judges get to stay. The other ministers and stuff like that, they get to stay. All of the military personnel that was involved in both of those things, they all get to stay. And it's just the presidents that go to prison and then get out and run for office again and get elected again.
Yep. It reminds me a lot of this show I was watching for a while. I don't know if you guys seen it, Chapo, and it was it's about, of course, El Chapo, and in that most recent one that it came out was really 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 well done. I think it's by Netflix, and in there you have the government official. I can't remember his name, but they show him how he's moving on up and moving on up, and all of the twisted shit he's doing the whole time and making deals with this person and snitching on this person so they can go, and then now he props up this, and so as each little faction of the different cartels would come up, he would kind of play God with them. Okay, I'm gonna help this one do well. Now you pissed me off. Now I'm gonna tank you guys. I'm gonna set you up. And over decades, how this one guy was sitting up there, basically, deciding which cartel was in favor, and who am I gonna let be taken out by this one, or bring the military involved to take down that one. And it's the same thing in some of these other countries. This guy just happened to be, a government official, whereas in that, I guess a judge is a government official too. But it's the same thing going on. You have somebody who's a power player in these different countries who's getting funded by somebody who decides who's going to be the power player that I'm going to allow. Which crime faction am I going to allow to be in power?
Yeah.
This is Batman Gotham City in real life.
All of this stuff, all that stuff is real life. We just don't have somebody dressing up in a cape and all that.
Give Javier Milei a couple of weeks, man. I'm sure he'll make it happen.
Where is Batman?
Well, turns out all of the billionaires aren't really actually vigilante warriors. They're just kind of dicks.
Yeah, that was just propaganda. That was just propaganda, so we won't want to, grab the torches and head for the mansions.
You know what? That's absolutely right.
Because if you think about it, in the comic books, that's not the only billionaire that they make into a good guy.
No, it's not.
I can give you a couple other ones.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark, that's one. Green Arrow. That's another one. Shoot, I'm blanking on a few more of them, but there are other ones out there which they try to make them into the good guy. Dr. Doom pretends he's the good guy.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
But he's an evil billionaire also. Man, it's one person that's right on the tip of my tongue that I can't remember. Was it Iron Fist?
Oh yeah.
He's another billionaire. He kind of goes off on his journey and then he comes back to his company and Hank Pym. Well, Hank's not a billionaire. He was a researcher, and then wait a minute. Yeah, he was. He started his company, and then his company eventually became, powerful.
Nighthawk was a billionaire. Spider-Man became a tech billionaire.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman was a princess. She had an invisible plane.
True.
That ass.
There had to be money behind that.
Well,
Amazonia.
Well, you throw in Shazam also.
Daredevil was a high-priced,
high-priced lawyer,
attorney.
Yep.
He had a super sick place in Manhattan that had to have cost, tens of millions.
A pretty penny.
True. Yeah. If you go to the original ones in the comics and stuff, not the TV show version. They try to make him like.
Oh, they made him like a public defender or some shit like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple more that we could easily probably.
Hey, I just want to let y'all know, y'all nerded the fuck out.
I have a whole fucking list up. They're ranked. They're fucking ranked. Moon Knight was a stock market millionaire.
Yeah.
Damn, Steve is on his shit. He was like, "Fuck comics, they be lying." You ever notice how the city never comes and it does it for themselves? We waiting for Batman. We are Batman type shit.
Right.
No, it's the truth though. Every time you read a comic book, none of the people actually revolt. against these crazy motherfuckers. Like you don't ever see the city of Gotham just waking up one day and say, we're gonna find Joker ourselves and beat that nigga's ass.
Well, I thought another
Doctor
one is
Strange. They have it number 27.
Black Panther was royalty also.
Right. Vixen was a multimillionaire model.
Oh,
Captain Avalon, old British money.
Doctor Strange, rich surgeon.
Yep.
Silver Sable led a country and is the head of a mercenary group, successful merc group. Let's see, Power Girl, multimillionaire. Ozymandias, Mr. Terrific, self-made billionaire.
Yeah, true. Tech billionaire. Yeah.
The Wasp.
Well, we didn't bring up Lex Luthor because we're talking about the good guys who they pretend how they give us billionaires. Yeah, well, there's plenty of evil billionaires in there.
Danny Rand comes in at number 16, Marcus.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Iron Fist, he got to be on there.
Archangel, number 15.
That's
Green
right.
Arrow, number 14.
Okay.
The White Queen.
Well, that sounds like the KKK.
I don't even know who that is.
I don't know that one either.
Mr. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Parents in real estate worth billions. Iron Man coming in at number 11. Batman coming in at number 10.
10?
He should be high on that list.
Nightwing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number
9, Professor X. Number 8.
Professor X too.
Oh, that's right. His parents had, chateaus and all that.
I didn't know that. See, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. You got to think that whole mansion which they're in, the X-Men, that's his.
That's right. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Sunspot. From the New Mutants. Namor the Submariner.
Oh, that's right. He's the king of Underwater Nation.
Yep. Let's see.
Well, Aquaman, if that's Aquaman too, technically is the king of Underwater Nation.
Right. Let's see. Jean Grey's clone, Madeline Pryor, created by Mr. Sinister. Because she runs the realm of limbo, she's number 5. Black Panther, number 4. Right. Monopoly on vibranium.
Yep, true.
Black Bolt's kingdom is ancient beyond compare at number 3. The Inhuman Kingdom. Aquaman, number 2.
Hey.
Yeah. Number one most wealthy Superman. Comic book. No, his planet got blown up.
I'm joking. But he was royalty.
Thor.
Thor, that's right.
He has all of the treasure of Asgard.
Yeah, Prince of Asgard eventually became the king of Asgard.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he's king of a whole world, actually. Actually, not even just a world, like a world and accompanying solar systems.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't get richer than him.
Damn.
Right?
Honorable mention to the Brokies. He-Man. You
so
it's interesting,
like
make the list.
That propaganda that they used on making rich people as good and nice, and they're coming to save us.
Psych your mind.
I did not see that. I did not see that on a bingo card for today's show.
Me either, man. Me either.
I apologize. I mean, look. I've been on my comic book shit lately. I'm rewatching X-Men right now, and so, you know what I'm saying, I'm going through old memories and old stuff. I was a Batman girl for the longest. I don't know what happened, but I switched one day because I was like, that nigga ain't doing shit in the city. How these niggas keep getting out of jail? After a while, you gotta stop writing for this nigga, okay? Like, it gets to a point, my nigga, like, is you gonna beat this nigga's ass or no? And so after a while, I became an anti-hero lover. You know what I'm saying? I started looking at why the Joker was spazzing. I really loved reading Harley Quinn's entire story, seeing how she gave up her professional life to fuck around and find out.
Oh, yeah.
You know how bad it got to be to just say, you know what, fuck this check, I'm just going to do it? And after living in so many cities where you see homeless people and most of them are veterans that woke up one day and said, fuck this check, I'm just gonna do it. It's crazy.
Well, she's same as she's very similar to the Scarecrow.
Yes.
He was a psychiatrist and is like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Just go fuck with people now.
Thank you. So like it's like, god damn, bro. And it's like one thing I noticed that you never fucking see is the city folk say, you know what, fuck this nigga, he fucking my day up. On either front. Beat Batman's ass too. Shit. That nigga fucking looking down on the city on some pity ass shit. He don't even want to really help y'all niggas. He bored. He got nothing else to do. So what he gonna do? Beat up the fiends.
He's like, I'm not gonna take down Exxon. I'm gonna take down the guy who into a car.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you fucking with everybody because you bored, nigga. Like I started reading Batman completely different one day, and that's when I said, you know what? Let me go back to X-Men because, in my opinion, reading about the mutants beating niggas up, that's a little bit better for me.
Yeah, I admit, like honestly, if it wasn't for like these people, like, hey, basically, you know, I know you're beating up that guy who stole somebody's purse, but I'm a worse criminal. Come bother me, Batman. That's basically what they did.
Yeah.
You know, you had the Riddler who was like teasing him, like, "Hey, I'm doing worse crimes." So,
and yet this nigga still found time.
That's what salvages Batman.
To go beat up a drug addict because he needed that radio out that car. Like, god damn.
Well, then you could also make an argument for Gotham got worse because he focused only on like petty criminals. You let the big time criminals just get away with everything.
Yeah.
It's like
they kept getting free.
He spent all that time like beating up Falcone's men and stuff like that instead of like taking down Falcone.
Yes. Come on. Talk about it. I was just reading. Look, I just been reading. I've been rewatching X-Men, the animated series and shit, and I just started rereading goddamn Batman a different light a couple years ago. And I just been like, damn, we live in Gotham City. We need to start beating Batman up. Who's Batman?
Yeah, now being older, you know, see, because I grew up as a kid loving Batman. Batman was my number one. But yeah, older, I see things very differently. I mean, it's still entertaining if I take myself and just stop analyzing this for a moment.
Just enjoy it. Yeah, hell yeah, just enjoy the shit.
You got to have some of that where you do that. And I guess to kind of transition that into the next subject, I kind of want to go into this because it's interesting to me. I've kind of went down a little rabbit hole. So I kind of want to break this to y'all, what I've been talking about. It's kind of made me look at things a little differently. I've been looking up mass shooters and just like people who've done a lot of these crazy things in general and really digging into their ideologies. Now, granted, we can go to the end phase that, you know, this one might have been a red flag. This might have been this and stuff. But anyway, just the train of thought of some of these people, like from their genesis. And like for instance, I looked up the Sandy Hook kid. He was a weirdo. Was super weird. And like probably had like the worst mother you could possibly have in that scenario. Now, do I know if this said person in that case, everything is 100% on the up and up because there was a lot of miscommunication with information, blah, 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 blah. We're not going to go into that. I'm not going down the Alex Jones rabbit hole. But what I'm saying is a lot of these people, you see these communities that they get in when they get into this massive levels of depression and get in these echo chambers. And that made me wonder, okay, what are we going to find out supposedly on the shooter of Charlie Kirk? Because I mean, I wanted to go into this Charlie Kirk thing, but there's so many different ways to look at it. And so, looking at like, I looked up the kid, I can't remember what his name, dude something, who blew up the IVF thing out here in California who ended up basically just blowing himself up. When you go through his, I'm trying to remember what the term is called. What did he say? He's a pro-mortalist, antinatalist.
Antinatalist, yeah.
Yeah. And so I didn't even know that was like a thing. Like there's a big community of people online who they believe like the fact that they were born in general is a crime. And they should have never been born, and like nobody else should live, and we should have mass extinction of the human race.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah, it gets real dark. It gets real, and I'm like,
antinatalism is crazy. We talked about that a little bit on a Blunt Force, like I don't know, dude, a year and a half ago or something like that. Like I almost think it's on the thumbnail.
I'm telling you, I might need to go check out that because I've been going
through a creepy cult around the dude that was responsible for a number of deaths. Yeah. I know. I'm almost positive we did a Blunt Force.
I know we did, but I don't remember hearing that term. I'm sorry, Steve. I know which one. I know which episode
well,
you're
there's
talking
a couple
about.
of different terms they use, like Effie or something like that too. But like these people, like, and there's
gonna hold you. If I was stoned, you probably did say it, and I was just as shocked as I am again now. What the fuck? People think like this?
Like that's what blew my mind with reading this, and like the kid out here who blew up the IVF, and I was like, how long ago was that? That didn't seem like that was that long ago because I remember talking about this. This happened in like January or something. And this is not that far. I'm trying to remember where exactly was it at? Palm Springs. It was Palm Springs where this happened. And he just happened to blow up the IVF on, and it happened to be on like a Sunday too, where nobody was there. He didn't do his research, and he didn't even blow up like most of the stuff. He just kind of did a whole lot of damage to the building and obliterated his car. and knocked over his camera. And then the other kid who helped him, they finally tracked him down. That kid eventually, seeing that he's about to face all this time, decides to take a swan dive. But yeah, this kid, he was in talks with this girl who she was planning her way out. She got her boyfriend, to kill her in her sleep. So yeah, he put about 3-4 bullets in her head. And he thought, oh well, I thought it was assisted suicide, so I should be fine. But no, he ended up getting charged and going to prison. But but that kid, he made a pact with her when she died that he would end himself too. And so there's like a whole subculture.
Jesus.
Some of these like school shooters and all that are all into this stuff. Now, I don't know what I wonder also deeper, is this planted by Intel or something to kind of groom these people into certain things and then guide them in a direction? Or is it just negligence of internet providers and all these different things like that? Or is it these people who have been watched and monitored, who are into all this stuff, are used as easy scapegoats? And so I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of different thoughts that have floated in my mind regarding this. So I give you guys the floor to respond to all that crap that I've just brought up.
Hey, Marcus, I don't like sounding like a tinfoil hat person, but man, I be thinking all this shit planted, bro. I be thinking all this shit planted.
Well, that's the thing. I go back and forth between. I know some stuff is planted. I know that
some stuff is not, and then some stuff isn't.
Some stuff's not, or some stuff is more simple than we think. Like for instance, some of these California fires. Some of this stuff is literally just paying a homeless dude like $50 or buying him a bottle, and he'll just go out there and toss a match. And it might just be that simple. Now, it's still a conspiracy, you get what I'm saying? But sometimes it's not as like 50 layers deep,
I know, but they can play. Okay, y'all gonna hear me sound like they can play with you. So it's like how they feel. How certain people feel about their fucking gun rights, bro. It's September, bro. Look, Billy, I listen to Bobby Hammond too much. And so he was like, always be mindful of the shit they do right around the fall equinox. And I was like, ooh, shit, you right. And like, this is around the time where they got primaries and shit. Like, people, I always thought, okay, on a spiritual level, now, so since Marcus got to get on a religious level today, I'm gonna get on a spiritual level with y'all right now, right? Who check me out. They always tend to do shit around the moon cycles and shit, right? Y'all know most religions always have that in it. So on a spiritual level, when Halloween comes, the veil is thin between spirits, people, and stuff like that. Scary movies get dropped kind of like right before that so that you can watch it through Halloween. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people in the covens and communities and shit like that start amping up they shit around that time when the veil is thin and the nights get shorter. So the day that the day and the night match, motherfuckers start doing all they, heebie-jeebie juju and shit, right? And it opens up a portal usually. And if y'all pay attention to how elections work, it's right after the veil gets open. And you get to do your juju, then you go vote, right? And I always paid attention to that ever since I got into the spiritual community, and I've been with Steve on this political thing. And now it's to a point where I feel like I want to talk about it. I be feeling like when they do this, yeah, the Illuminati ain't the name of the group no more, but y'all know it's some niggas that's doing some weird shit, licking booty holes and eating foreskin. Come on now. Y'all know they be doing that weird shit anyway. I just always followed it wild that they always do it right after the veil gets thin. No matter what religion you in. The day that the day and the night match up in the fall, it's wild crazy. Even plants are affected by that shit. You feel me? So like, you're not telling me that shit they planned our elections right after that. So now they're getting us all amped up. Everybody's fucking spirit is all high tense and shit, and we're getting into October. Like, I'm just saying, shit about to pop off in October, bro. And they playing this shit because that motherfucker got a JFK hit. We just got our first 2025 real-time JFK. When the last time we seen some shit like that? To be honest. Anybody? Can anybody give me that? And he can't say Trump's little ear clip either. When was the last time?
No, but
when was the last time we got a JFK?
So many differences between the other day and Butler. So many differences. No, I mean it's been a while since somebody, had their grape pop on fucking live on camera.
Wild times, man. So I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it ain't real. I'm not saying it is real. I really don't know. Y'all know me. I'm on a business that pays me. If it is real, that's crazy work. Feel sad for her, his wife, his kids. Condolences. For sure. If it ain't real,
I haven't seen anything to convince me that it's not real. And I've looked at a lot of different things people have put out to that regard.
Me too. I have that, but I'm just look. I don't want nobody to look. But as far as what I saw, that man got his shit popped, and it was crazy because like you can see his spirit leave his like that man. Listen, you can see whatever is in people was not in there at that time. That man was gone before he even moved his body.
Yeah.
That man was up out of here. And that's what, okay, now let's talk about the other shit that's in that video. Outside of the man dying. Who the fuck is that white man in the black shirt and the white dude in the white hat in the back corner? Who is that?
Well, the dude in the white hat and shirt was one of the people that was running around the SUV that they loaded him into, take him to the hospital.
Okay.
Which, shirt? I don't know. There's people that are trying to connect him to Butler, Pennsylvania. It doesn't look like the same dude to me. But and there's a guy in like a gray shirt or a blue shirt that's one person over from the dude in the white shirt who like makes that motion. Then there's the baseball thing, and then the other hand signal and trigger pulled.
Yeah.
The guy in the white could have a screen protector on, but there's another angle of that guy from behind it, and there's just absolutely nothing on the phone.
Yeah, Steve, I thought that when I was listening, I was like, I wonder if it's possible a screen protector. And then when I saw the other angle, I was like, I don't think that's screen protector.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the screen.
But yeah, I mean, there's absolutely nothing there.
So my only question to the panel is, who orchestrated the hit? The Italians, apple juices? Who?
The Italians.
I just put them in there. I just throw them in there
because they're notoriously murderous people.
Yes, I just throw them in there. I'm sorry, but I mean, I was about to say Chicago YNs too.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So I was gonna make it even. I just needed to have, you know what I'm saying, two like weird controls, you know? So could it have been dun 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 the Italians, A, B, apple juice, C, Chicago YNs from O Block, D, US government, honorable mention for E, the US government, and the apple juices.
So it's not possible. I don't know. You didn't even throw him in there. If you're gonna throw the YN, you're gonna throw the YNs in Chicago. I mean, Italian mobs. You gotta put, you know, the possibility, the lone shooter.
The lone shooter. Dun dun dun. Grassy.
I mean, hey, look, could have been a cartel. You know, had thoughts on immigration. Could have been the tranny mafia, Trantifa. Could have been them. That's who they're blaming it on right now. Could have been the Groypers, little Nick Fuentes' band of merry racists. Could have been them.
That's honestly, I have like my suspect list is possibly the Groypers are pretty high up there, but it could have been manipulation from other sources. Now, and the reason why because I was like, I don't see, because this kid grows up. I mean, the kid who they say it is, who his father supposedly took him and everything. This kid grew up in a Republican family, so I don't think it's the trans, any of that stuff. Some of the stuff I've been kind of reading is very Groyper language, like his social medias and all that. And so I don't know if they've showed any connection to him, like being a fan of Nick Fuentes or, you know, the whole Groyper scene, but it seems like he's very online and uses a lot of like that lingo. Now, could this be somebody kind of like they've been setting this up to make this kid look this way or whatever? I don't know. I mean, that's going down the conspiracy. That's like, okay, put on my conspiracy theorist hat and look at it, or just look at it as, okay, this is not a conspiracy and this kid just did what he did. The reason why I say it's so open is because anybody who grew up with a shooting background and going to ranges on a regular, it's a doable. The shot itself is a doable shot for a large amount of the American population could pull off that shot, especially in the more heavily gun areas. So the shot itself is not this impossible crazy. It has to be, you know, that they flew in the top sniper from, you know, wherever. But to take that shot with the adrenaline going, to fire at a person is very different than firing at targets.
Very true.
And then also just to have the stones to walk in there, get on the roof, do all this stuff, have the plan to get away. I mean, if that's the plan. To me, that spells like either it is this kid, let's say for you know, just put him in the equation because he's the suspect right now. If it was him, he got to a point of, fuck it, I don't care what happens, consequences be damned, as long as I get this dude. to
Crazy
do
work.
that. And also, I think some people give a little bit too much credit to some police forces, thinking, "Oh, well, there's no way he would have got around this and got around that." Some of these police forces are complete fucking idiots. I mean, there's plenty of times, like in some of these mass shootings, where the police literally have talked to the suspect and told him, "Hey, get out of here, buddy," and don't realize
We're looking for somebody. Yeah.
So, incompetence of a handful of different officers or an entire precinct could explain how a person could just get out of a situation like that. They don't have to be this top assassin. But there is also the other side of the possibility where the police force is on top of their crap. Everybody is watching. And so you might have needed to swap this out and get a real person in there. I mean, just like the whole Kennedy thing where you have a patsy, you have somebody who has all these things that already look incriminating building up. And then at the finish line, you bring in the closer and then drop the consequences back on the patsy. I don't know.
Well, right now, I'm quoting Sam Tripoli here at the front end of this. The shooter is a gay, trans, conservative Mormon groyper who hatched his diabolical plan on Discord while frequenting Reddit, was a trained marksman, and according to his grandma, has never even touched a gun. Who also, this is me now, made one shot, one kill, while at a high-profile public event of a very high-profile international politically influential person, with the amount of pressure that you're under to make that once, and then as he's making his escape, took a Mauser 30-06, broke it down mid-stride, threw the barrel in his backpack, the stock in his pants. This is what the narrative is, by the way. This is what the FBI is saying. Made his way out into some immediate woods right past the area, took everything back out, put it back together, procured a box and a blanket, wrapped it in that, and left it. And then went straight home to tell his minister and his dad, former sheriff, exactly what he did. Then precisely 33 hours later, the FBI made their arrest. This is after Charlie Kirk was, assassinated on the 6-year and 66th day into the existence of the Charlie Kirk show. But I mean, sure. Which, and the original picture that the FBI and Utah law enforcement released of, alleged shooter looks nothing like the dude they arrested. You know who does look like the dude they arrested? Lee Harvey Oswald. Almost to a T. It is eerie. How close, how similar those two look alike.
I'm saying this our JFK for 2025, bro. I told y'all. My mouth be right, bro. This the JFK of 2025 because, like, Steve, I've been on it. I've been on this one. This one's been weird to me because I was like, y'all niggas really did this again? That's crazy. And then, okay, Steve, this is one thing. Did you see the conspiracy about the book on Amazon?
Oh, yeah.
That dropped the day before it happened. I'd be looking on that type of time, right? I was like, damn, that's crazy as a bitch. Shows a day early and 2 quarters, extra on this one. But like the entire play on the numbers, 33 hours into it, you know what I'm saying? All this shit is just so planted, damn it. It's planted.
Especially how he said 36, actually to be exact, 33. I was like
33 hours. 33 hours. 666. Like, what the fuck?
Wow. Even to the thinning on the same side.
Come on.
Yeah,
man.
It's pretty wild.
If out of the three of us, if any of us was going to write this one, I think Steve would have wrote this one. This is your Simpson episode if you would have wrote it for the show. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what we got to do? You know what we got to do though? We got to run back my predictions, Marcus. We have to run back my predictions because I told you somebody was going to die.
Yeah.
We got to run back that episode. We got to run it back. I'm sorry, y'all. One of these days, we got to run that episode back, please. I hate to. You got to teach me how to edit shit, Marcus, because I want to go back and get that clip when I did that prediction because I'm on a motherfucking roll.
Well, that's the reason why every year I always do that prediction thing. I always make sure I want to get a little part where we get predictions on the air. That way, when we're looking at things later on, we're able to see where we were at. And I don't know. I always thought it was just entertaining to be able.
This is good. Yeah, it's entertaining. It dead ass is because like boy, oh boy, the way they got this shit set up. So how you think they're gonna play it out, Steve? Since I believe that Steve could have wrote this one for The Simpsons, how is it gonna play out, Steve? What's gonna happen to this?
Well, okay, this is what we currently know. You know, they did take this Patsy kid into custody. As the announcement is being made, well, first let's back up a little bit. Oh yeah. By the way, Charlie Kirk and George Floyd shared a birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo!
I know Larry Johnson is losing his mind right now.
But okay. So what happened? Well, first, the Jerusalem Post and then Benjamin Netanyahu announced 20 minutes after the shooting that Charlie Kirk was deceased. Then an hour later, Trump got on TV to say that Charlie Kirk was deceased. That was after the weird like AI filter wash, whatever it was that they did with it. Between that, there were a whole bunch of rumors and stuff like that he was in critical condition at this hospital or whatever. Now, while this is taking place, a plane takes off from a private airfield 12 minutes from the shooting. 30 minutes up in the air, it turns off its transponder.
No tail numbers either.
Well, there's a tail number, but you have to FOIA for who owns it. There's people who claim they know who own it, but I haven't seen any actual record of it. They're just like, oh, by the way, it's this guy, but there's no connecting, documentation, anything like that. And so I'm not sure. They have a tail number. It's private. You have to FOIA for it or sue for it, or hack for it. Those are your options. An hour later, transponder's back on. It lands, a couple of freaking rock skips away in Provo, Utah. There are a dozen military bases that surround UVU campus, Utah Valley University. Dozen military installations. It's crazy.
And you cannot get a FOIA for those military flights.
So that happens. Then 33 hours later, they arrest the kid. As they're making the announcement that they, allegedly a Chabad Lubavitch donor is the owner of the plane. Again, zero documentation on that. One screenshot picture of the dude and people saying it's this guy, but zero proof that it's that guy. We don't know yet. 3 ways to find out, but and then as they're announcing, they made an arrest, Ben Shapiro is announcing that he and the Daily Wire are taking over the Turning Point USA college debate series. This is after Ben Shapiro was Charlie Kirk's last interview that he ever did on his show. And there was disagreement about Israel's role in the United States government, the way that they're conducting themselves in Gaza and elsewhere. He had been on Patrick Bet Value a couple of days before that, where he said, I want to be really careful how I say this, but there's no other way to say this. Israel's committing ethnic cleansing in Gaza, which is huge for a guy like Charlie Kirk, who had been carrying the Zionist torch for a very long time. Netanyahu comes out with this fake letter saying Charlie Kirk was the greatest friend of Israel, while all of these high-ranking Israeli officials and businessmen and stuff like that are repeating the exact same thing. Charlie Kirk was a faithful, blah, 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 blah. And then these vague allusions to it probably being someone in the pro-Palestinian contingent. But, I mean, it was one after the other. There were about 30 of them, all within hours of Bibi announcing first that Charlie Kirk was dead.
Even the guy claiming, like, comparing Charlie Kirk to Abraham of the Bible. It's like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, the rabbi on Fox News did that.
Yeah, and for those in here, he's like, I know you guys, you don't understand, but Abraham would want to talk everything out, bring people to his tent, just like Charlie Kirk was talking to people from his tent. I'm like,
what?
Yeah, and there's a big mural that they already threw up of Charlie Kirk in Israel. And now, if I was just looking at it for, okay, could this kid have been a Groyper or whatever who was against him? Yeah, but when I hear the narrative that comes out from all of these other people, that's where the skepticism for me started to come in. Why did Israel be like the biggest and first person who was like so strongly unifying messages over and over and over for this? That was weird to me. Also, what you broke down about how the narrative, the FBI narrative, that didn't make sense to me either. About, okay, so after that, he breaks down, the Mauser 30-06. Some people tried to say first that no, he shoved it partially down his pants. That's why he was walking with that kind of limp. And then some people were like, no, he just broke it down and threw it in the bag. That's the Mauser 30-06 is not like, one of those where, okay, you got a little twist, screw, boom, boom, boom. No, it's not. It's, you're literally bringing out like a little toolkit and having to unscrew shit. And I'm like, that's not something that you're going to, right after you shoot somebody, you're going to take 15 minutes to break down a gun? That doesn't make any damn sense. And especially
immediately put it back together to dispose of it on site.
Yeah, the putting it back together and leaving it in the woods. For one, if you already got away with it, you supposedly got away with it and you have it, why would you just leave it in the woods somewhere? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know why you wouldn't drop that thing into a middle of one of those lakes or rivers out there, which would be much harder to find, especially if nobody saw you. Or if you'd already have somewhere where you could, like, even if you just burned all the, because I mean, you can burn and melt down most of the stuff on that 30-06, and it'll be so deformed that even if you did find it, you couldn't take any kind of you couldn't really get anything off of it, especially DNA wise. I mean, maybe you could probably match up the round to, if they found the round and it's somewhat intact, you could probably match that up to the grooves in the barrel. But why would you? Okay, you fired one shot, but you wrote messages on like 5-6 of the rounds.
They walked that back a little bit.
They did.
Yeah.
Because I was about to say, damn, y'all hitting every fucking checkbox. Like, Steve, you know how we say how Vice makes a new episode? Like, I would have loved to have been in the room when they made this one. Because this one right here, they was throwing mad dildos at the wall because they was like hitting every fucking point. You know what I'm saying?
Well, another thing that I would throw out there that they said that was interesting to me, how many of the people were like, whoever did this, like before they knew anything, whoever did this, it's obviously tied to pro-Palestinian. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't even, right now, we supposedly don't know anything. Where's this Palestinian thing coming in? I mean, that's the reason why, like I said before, could somebody who's had training on a range make the shot itself? Yes, that's
absolutely.
But to be able to do that under that level of pressure And also, here's another. This is how, for me, might seem like a minuscule detail, but this is what tells me more than likely this was somebody who was a professional, because it wasn't multiple shots. It was boom, pack out of there. That means you knew you hit.
Excuse me. Okay, hold on. Can I tell you something real quick? Two things let me know this was a white person off the cuff. Okay. First, it was in Utah. Ain't no niggas in Utah, except Karl Malone. Second thing was that motherfucker fired off and hit that jugular so goddamn bad. I thought it was a movie clip, bro. That's how bad. When I first saw that work, I was like, damn. I wonder, this gonna be a fire ass movie. Closed my app, opened it back up because in my fucking eyes was like, hold up, that's that white boy that be stirring the pot. Went back and I seen that shit in slow motion, how they clipped that. Man, listen, all you heard was the fire. Bah! I said, oh, that's a white boy. I said, a white boy did that.
Well,
that's crazy. That's some old, not to mention you do it right before 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
When the veterans are already a little antsy.
So that it's going to be all over the news for 9/11. That's going to be the top news for 9/11.
That's going to be, exactly. You can't not see this motherfucker. Man, listen, they be planting it. It'd be good, but go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to let you know. That's how I knew it was a white boy. Because it was in Utah. And they connected.
I knew.
It couldn't have been. These YNs got switches because they got bad aim.
Well, I do just the fact that because it was a distant shot. That's just, I hate to be stereotypical, but
that's not our forte.
Those fly dudes are not about to go do that. That's just not. It would have been different. It would have been up close and personal.
Yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to let y'all know that's when I knew it was white. I knew it was white off the cuff. I was like, ooh, long distance in Utah? Mm-mm.
Yeah, and especially on a college campus, I'm pretty sure, except for that one Virginia Tech shooting, all the college shooters have been white. So that was pretty easy to guess.
Yeah. That was an Asian dude.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, at Virginia Tech. Crazy work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was, well, it's just, like I said, I don't know how many people in the chat who've done any kind of shooting. And I'm just talking about just target shooting. I'm definitely not talking about shooting at people. I'm talking about target shooting, and especially at distance target shooting, anything over 100 yards. That recoil, especially, we're talking about a Mauser.
Yeah, kick.
There's some kick
like a freaking pissed off mule.
And I'm like, so was he just shooting that from, prone position, or did he have that on a tripod? Like what? Because that makes a difference also. Tripod, a little bit more support. And so you're going to have the recoil, but you're going to be able to refocus a little easier versus just leaning that barrel on top of something.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I'm saying.
Then there's also the first guy they arrested, the old white boomer dude, who isn't an old white boomer. He's an Ashkenazi Jew who is very rare in Utah, who also happened to witness 9/11 and immediately know that it was Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, and also was arrested for making bomb threats in Salt Lake City in the wake of the Boston bombing.
Wow.
Made a giant distraction for legitimate law enforcement on the ground, and was filmed saying, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me," as he was being dragged out. His pants fell down in the middle. Like somebody may as well have ran up with a freaking flower that squirted seltzer water in somebody's eye.
Oh yes, bro. Thank you, Steve. Because I was like, I didn't want to talk about the apple juice that got arrested first. That looks like Bernie Sanders on top of that. Please sprinkle that up there too, because I looked at this man and said, damn, they got a Bernie Sanders lookalike that's actually an apple juice that's asking to be shot, and then saying that talk to my attorney, talk to my lawyer. They had him on the ground. I think that was the first thing he said. And then after that, when they were walking him out, he was like, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. All this wild ass shit. Hell yeah, I went down the rabbit hole about that little apple juice. This shit was so Simpson, bro. I'm not saying you couldn't write better, Steve, but out of the three of us, this would have been your shit. I'm telling you, Steve, this don't make no fucking sense, bro. This is a Simpson episode.
Yeah.
in real life.
Well, and somebody mentioned it might have been Dingo in the Rumble chat. It might have been Dingo in the Rumble chat up thread a little while back. But initially, they claimed that JFK was shot with a Mauser, and then they changed their story.
Yeah.
Come on. Told y'all niggas.
Well,
JFK 2025.
The Carcano.
Yep. This is something that good point. This is what I was kind of bringing up. Proof 138 said any serious shooter will have some type of support. They don't shoot freehand. Well, that's where the discussion comes in. Is it a serious shooter, or is it supposed to be this kid Tyler or whatever? Which, if you're just a kid who probably grew up doing a little bit of hunting and stuff, not necessarily that you would have always had a tripod. But a serious shooter definitely would have, and that's what I'm saying. That would be some of the things, because the way they talked about it, how forearm imprints and things like that, that leads me to believe multiple different things. So I would say that
I know they ain't got shit going on in Utah. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I know they ain't got.
Actually, like their national park, like Zion, where he supposedly was turned in or near that area, is like a big touristy area.
No. I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about like you need to be like motherfucking like seriously hunting all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? Like that. It's not Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So possibly that might be they go-to shooting and stuff. But shooting a human is crazy work. First off, making your mind up to shoot a human is bonkers. That's crazy to me.
Here's something. I'm gonna give this one to Steve. Says, has anyone figured out? Because I heard Steve talking about, the round basically ricocheted up, that it hit him in the vest and went up, and then I heard other people say that no, it didn't. It was just a straight shot for the neck, and it's known that IDF soldiers typically aim for the neck, like Shireen Abu Akleh. So it says, anyone figured out the mystery of the bullet hole hanging out of the chest before the shot was fired?
Well, okay. So without seeing the shirt, which we're never gonna, I don't know if you know. I don't know if everybody's seeing the same shit. I see movement in the shirt first, and him
then
go
the neck.
back. And if you're wearing a freaking bulletproof vest that's plated, when you're shooting down at something hard and metal that's going this way, it goes like that, which is right where it would pop them in the neck. Do I know for certain? No, absolutely not. Neither does anybody else. No. And that's the problem with all of this stuff, because people get to quibbling over details like that without going, holy shit, we watched a high-profile political assassination in broad daylight, and they're trying to give you a 22-year-old kid. All of the things now that have happened now benefit one particular group of people, in that the largest, not just in the United States, Christian campus movement, but this thing is international. It's all over. They were holding vigils for him in South Korea. Charlie Kirk vigils in South Korea and in London.
They tried to fucking do a goddamn moment of silence at UN or EU or some shit like that.
And then also, if they're going to pin it on the Groyper movement, that goes after Nick Fuentes, who's been the biggest person on the right who has been going after Israel outside of Canastota.
Yeah. Who, by the way, Nick isn't trying to paint any connection whatsoever between the Israelis and this. He's all in on the official narrative. It's trans inclusive. Their Fox News was like, oh, his roommate was transitioning, and roommate, and that's what they're insinuating. So this is all about Charlie Kirk's anti campus Marxist rhetoric.
Well, it could be a combination of is being a trying to cover his ass. He could have got a message like, yo, shut your mouth, things can get a little dark, and so that narrative. But and then there's also the part of I don't think Nick Fuentes is very smart anyway. So I mean, he's just used to talking like the old saying: anybody can look good in the gym by themselves. Anybody can look good against a weaker sparring partner. But when you fight real competition, that's how you find out, where a person really is. And I don't think Nick Fuentes is actually debating anybody of work that can expose his inadequacies in a sense. But I did want to respond to something I saw they were talking about the DC shooter. The reason why I didn't put that black guy DC shooter as the same thing is because that dude was shooting randomly. There was none of that like aiming, targeting to hit a specific person. He's shooting in the crowd, and also this was all a ruse so that he can go after his ex-wife and shit.
His baby mama, yeah.
That's a whole different kind of scenario.
That nigga was going through custody
battles.
Okay?
This. I got that's some black shit.
That's some nigga shit. I knew it. He from Virginia too. Virginia niggas don't play by their kids. I give them that much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these
random people to throw them off the trail. No.
Yeah, that motherfucker lost it. But man, listen, I remember I was dating a dude who was in the same prison as the DC shooter when they executed him. He's one of the last executions they did in Virginia. I was dating a dude and he wrote me a letter that night. It was like, so they about to execute the nigga that was doing all them shootings back in the day. He gave me a whole breakdown of what was going on. The power was acting weird. It was crazy. He said it was scary as a bitch because he was like, power was acting weird. Felt like the ghost was kind of acting up because that had been the execution prison for Virginia for like the longest. They just outlawed that shit a couple years back. So yeah, he told me it was a whole story. I wish I still had that letter. But yeah, man, that motherfucker was going through some baby mama drama shit. His ex-wife was bugging, won't let him see the kid. Motherfucker was like, fuck this shit. Everybody gotta go. He just started shooting random people. Well, he had military background though, too.
Yeah, well,
he had prior military background, so
military background, that's a different category than just an average black person walking down the street. And that's different mentality also going on. Good, and it's not necessarily the brightest for me to bring up that, but I like to just be honest. I mean, because
I was doing the Annapolis Renaissance Festival when that was going on, and we like side gigged for a light and sound like stage production company, load in, load out, stuff like that. We were in DC all the time, and multiple people that were on the crew had been at the same gas station, sometimes, on the same day, never at the same time. But like people were freaking paranoid during that.
Hey, yo, motherfuckers was doing
this, dude.
Motherfuckers was doing the most. They was fucking like weaving in and out of gas stations.
I mean, he didn't have a specific target, so I get it. It was like, yo, indiscriminate. I'll shoot anybody. And a lot of these other shooters, when you go into their manifestos, they were targeting certain people. Yeah, or they said, I don't like this. Like, you look at the Christchurch shooting. That dude was against Arabs in general. He was a white supremacist in general, hated a whole bunch of people. But weirdly, I don't know, like this part I didn't know, that part of his reasoning was he wanted to get an argument sparked in America about the Second Amendment. And he wanted for America to get rid of the Second Amendment because he felt that would make us weaker of a nation, because he hated America because in his mind we were helping the Arabs.
Okay, yeah. I guess. If you woke up Tuesday and you started feeling like that, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Like, is that what you think was going on? Okay, well, whatever. I mean,
do you, boo boo? You gonna find out the hard way, but do you? But dog, if you just looking at all across the board, yes, these motherfucking goddamn mass shooters, they got an MO. Always a white dude. You know what I'm saying? That's just white people sports.
Damn, that's crazy way to start.
But like DC shooter, his manifesto, fuck my baby moms.
Yeah.
Got it. That was pretty much his manifesto. Fuck my baby moms. She got me fucked up and y'all do too. I serve this country. Suck my dick. Everybody else is always like, trans alumni. It's always about some big major movements in their manifesto.
Well,
It's never no.
I find the genesis of a lot of these people, it goes to a certain level of depression and despair. And then once you get past that level of depression,
Bitch.
the anger gets involved. And now you're like, okay, nobody's listening to me. People are going to listen when I start punishing people. And that, because I see, that's the through line I see. It doesn't matter which one of these ones I look at. And even just where you hear a true crime where this person decided, okay, well, I'm just going to off my whole family all of a sudden. There was all of these red flags that were showing, okay, this person's unstable. They're ready to snap. Now, different things, they took different tracks to get to where they got to what they did, but all of this stuff, and even the patsies, because if you look even into Lee Harvey Oswald, that's the same thing with him. There's all this stuff that makes him look like, okay, this is a whole bunch of tangible, well, what's not tangible, what's the word, circumstantial. A bunch of circumstantial evidence that if you can pile it all together, you can make a case, with the right lawyers for it. And that's that's where you have to like, okay, so that sounds good until you hear the official stories. The official stories always expose, okay, that didn't make any damn sense. Just like going back to this thing, why would you take apart the rifle, then reassemble the rifle and just leave it out in the middle where it's easy for somebody to find it? Doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, none of it makes sense.
So,
I mean, it makes sense, but it don't make sense, but it makes sense. Like, come on, y'all. Y'all got to see this. Like, y'all don't see this one in broad daylight? Hey, we saw somebody get capped in broad daylight. Last time they did that was JFK, 1963.
Well, his brother, 1968. Martin Luther King was shot in broad daylight in 1968. Malcolm X was shot in broad daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Outside? No, Malcolm was shot inside.
Yeah. Reagan was shot outside, too.
Yeah.
Oh, Reagan got shot.
Reagan was walking on the sidewalk.
Yeah, he was walking out the mall. He was coming out a hotel or a mall or some shit. It was like, hey, bitch. He was like, huh? Bow. Shot it up. Reagan didn't die, though.
No.
He took that shit like a G.
No, he broke the zero curse on presidents. Prior to that, presidents going back to like 1820, if their inauguration year landed on a zero, they had all been shot and killed.
Click clap. Click clap. Click clap. That's the same word. Damn.
Oh yeah, Yonine, I never said circumstantial is substantial. I'm just saying that sometimes what a case can be built on a bunch of circumstantial evidence, and it's just a matter of the lawyer being able to argue it and make it work. Because I mean, perfect example, the boxer Hurricane. They made that movie. Denzel made that movie about it. It was a whole bunch of circumstantial evidence that got him convicted and did 20-something years in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is circumstantial is not necessarily substantial, but it can be enough sometimes to convince somebody.
I didn't say the theory was crazy, Shlomo. I said we're never going to see the shirt. And without seeing the shirt, you don't know and I don't either. That's what I said.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I look at it. That's the reason why the more I look at this, like people said, well, couldn't it been this? And he talked about these people and those people. I knew it wasn't going to, for one, there was no motive for, oh, well, because he shit on a bunch of women and black people and that's why they were going to go and shoot him. No, I knew that wasn't the case.
No, they don't give a fuck about us.
Maybe fighting, maybe some black dude might want to fight him, but killing over that? No, it's just like I've been seeing like a lot of black people, especially online, and been getting in a lot of heat because they're like, oh well, good riddance to him. Not caring or feeling like whatever about it is not the same as wishing death on somebody. I just want to put that out there. It's not the same thing. It's like, would I wish for Charlie Kirk to die? No. Do I believe in, them, anything they did? No. Do I think he was a piece of shit as a person? Yes. Am I boo-hooing? No, but it's still messed up, like, for his family and stuff, what happened. So that's how I see it. It's like, I'm of two minds. I don't like the dude. I would wish other kind of like if he just got his ass beat or something. Yes. Yeah, but do my negative feelings about him go to the level of wishing death on him? No, not at all. So that's all I'm saying. Now, what I said to other people is I said, granted, when you're on his level of a speaker, you can influence people to do things, and who knows, other people he's influenced to do negative shit on a small scale level that we may never hear about. I don't know. So, but when it's a politician who puts laws into place that affect people on a grand scale, I'm not talking about like those Minnesota lawmakers. You're okay raising somebody's taxes a little bit, and okay, you didn't put enough money into the streets. That's not the same as I'm going to send tons of money to another country for people to be bombed to smithereens. That's not the same thing at all. And so, the politicians on that level, am I saying that I think that's what anybody should do? No, I want to put that out there. I'm not encouraging that behavior. But I also don't feel quite the same about if something happens to those people. Yeah, Amazing Lucas. Yeah, I was like, Amazing Lucas might need to watch out. If not for just lawsuits alone, you're gonna get a Charlie Kirk like sycophant who's gonna walk up on you and pop you. And so I don't feel like I or Steve or Till, we have to worry about something like that, even though speaking publicly, because I don't think a lot of our speech has been negative towards any groups of people. Whereas I feel like Charlie Kirk did have a career of saying a lot of negative, hateful shit. And so when something like this happens, you have a whole lot of people who are like, you know what? Oh, well, he was an asshole. Screw him. So again, I'm not saying that I'm happy the dude's dead. I'm not saying I'm wish death on him, but you have people who just don't care. Hopefully my disclaimer made sense. So that's all right, off that soapbox now.
They capped that man on broad daylight TV, 1080p. Did you hear the person scream that sounded like Samuel Jackson off of Django when he got shot? Hear that one dude, Charlie? That's the only thing that I listen to every time. That's a grown ass man screaming for that man. I was like, yo, this shit real as fuck.
Ooh. They said Nick Cruz has been going even harder than Amazing Lucas. Dude, and I saw the stuff Amazing Lucas was doing. I was like, ooh.
Nick has been the most disgusting shit fucking idiot for internet points. And looking at the direction that all of this is going and looking at, potential likelihoods for actual culprits, Nick has done more for Israel in the last 100 hours than Charlie Kirk did in the last month of his life.
Wow. Because I honestly don't know. I haven't paid attention to anything. I have my own stuff. We all, content creators, we all have our own stuff going on. And so we always can't follow what everybody else is doing.
Just this childish, reductionist, reactionary, overly emotional, fact-free fucking nonsense. Wow. And then grabbing like whatever hot button clip over how many tens of thousands of hours of Charlie saying shit and making sure it's only very selectively edited sound bites. But he's ran into the loving arms of the divide and distract agenda faster and with more dedication to serving that agenda than just about anybody on Twitter. And it's just been this, like, yeah, again, disgusting, childish, emotional, reactionary, rage bait, freaking race bait. It's what I mean. It's what that group does. They're there to rage bait, race bait, and then pretend it's communism when you get white guilted freaking day drunk wine moms to send you money so that you can flip weed with it and eventually go buy some water and hand that out.
Wow.
That's communism, you guys.
That's sad to hear. I mean, because that's the reason. Honestly, it's a big reason why. Like, I weighed back and forth if I was going to weigh in on TikTok or whatever. I was like, you know what? Let me just wait and give time to like process and think before I go out there and say something. Because when you get out there and even if I tried to like say something and I wasn't trying to be negative or hateful or anything like that, there's a possibility I say something that can be misconstrued. And in a 10-minute max little TikTok, I might not get all my points in there and disclaimers and put something out there. And then later on, I'm having to try to recant. And I look at, I don't know, for Nick, that's not a good idea. I mean, he's a lot more like out in the open public than we are. And dude, just be careful. Like, I look at it biblically, even people who I would consider horrible people, it tells you to not, be happy and cheery on somebody's demise because, at least that judgment be put back upon you. So happy about, that stuff. Like, I realize sometimes judgment is going to happen and it is what it is. But I don't sit there and cheer on, because in my God's eyes, that's just as much of a sin to cheer on that kind of stuff, So I don't know. Says both Nick Fuentes and Kirk are
Kirk.
frauds.
I would imagine.
Oh, Kirk are frauds. Of course, I don't want to live around the majority of black people, and I get what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know if they're frauds or not. I just know what they portray out there. It doesn't make things safer for people. It makes it, it's more. I don't like people who are intentionally divisive. Now, sometimes we got to talk about stuff that's going to be divisive, but I don't like it when people go out there and intentionally. That's what we're talking about. For Purple Glue 72, who was Nick Cruz? That's he's from RBN, Revolutionary Blackout Network. So I don't get down with that kind of shit. So especially, it's one thing when we're going back and forth and talk some trash, but when life or death comes into play, I mean, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's not like he's the only one, dude. There's a bunch of other people. Like, even Caitlin Johnstone's take on this whole thing was pretty fucking gross. I don't know, dude. It's the reductionist element of it, where for Caitlin everything's just capitalism, or for Nick, he's getting a kick out of being like, "Look at this white on white violence" and fucking shit like that. It's like the, while he fucking pisses on a dude before he's even in the fucking ground. Like, it's just such fucking childish fucking behavior, and it's so dumb, and it feeds into the agenda so heavily when people do that. And I don't know, dude. It's quite possible. It's very possible for people to recognize like the gravity of a high profile political assassination in broad daylight without being a complete fucking infested cunt about it, and then also give a shit about what's going on in Gaza. You can do that at the same time.
Yeah,
you do that. Yeah. Now I get if you're watching somebody who is a literal murderer, get justice. That's different for me. I can deal with that. But
why shouldn't Nick say that though? They throw black on black crime at black people all the time. Well, is your answer to everything, nuh-uh, you, because if that's the mentality that you're arguing with, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I really don't. That's fucking, at best, second grade. Like it shows no fucking character. It shows no intellect. It shows no fucking consideration of events past the next 10 seconds. That's a child's mentality. I don't have time for that. I have kids. My youngest is 12. He's way beyond that. We can have real conversations. If I can't have a conversation with an adult and get the same intellectual fucking response that I get out of my 12-year-old, I don't need that fucking adult in my sphere.
Well, and in that respect also, I've always looked at the Charlie Kirks and the Nick Fuentes and people like that as childish reductionists also. They're out there judging a handful of people, putting it off on a whole community, and just being just shitty people in general. And so,
I mean, I'll grant some of that, but I think a lot of that is just blown way the fuck out of proportion. And I think that if you were to have sat down with Charlie Kirk, you guys would have had a fantastic conversation. Nick Fuentes, maybe not so much, but I think you guys would have gone deep into, religiosity. I think that he would have addressed every single point that you had in terms of what, looks like racism, may be racism. I think he would have addressed every single point without fucking getting any kind of up in his feels about it. And I think he would have walked away with a very different interpretation.
No, I do believe like if I did have that opportunity, though I would go in with my apprehensions and kind of feelings towards it in a way. But I do believe like a conversation would be able to happen.
Like that dude was the moderate as far as all of that goes. He was fucking a couple of degrees away from a fucking, centrist Democrat as far as that goes. And centrist Democrats are just a couple of degrees away from where he was on the like extreme moderate political scale.
Well, and that's what I worry about also for some of those people who kind of go that route. You have people who are the extreme, who are sitting there waiting for a reason to go and attack black people. And I'm like, you're giving ammunition for people who think that way. And so you might not be the one that gets harmed, but what happens when your behavior is now given the green light to the next Dylan Ruth to go walk into some church of random people that you don't know? I mean, I feel like especially when you get to a level like that they have the influences that they have, you have enough people that you can influence and radicalize in negative ways. And so you should really think about what you say and what you put out there. I mean, even though this is a smaller channel and I don't see myself ever becoming a big channel, I do worry about the possibility of what happens down the road, maybe even after I'm gone and something that I talked about goes viral. And they're like, oh, this dude 40 years ago was talking about this. And how does what I say now affect that person's mentality and what track they decide to go down and do? And I just feel like all of us need to be more responsible with the things that we say and do, because there are people who are a lot more extreme out there and who will take your words and do horrific things. I think there was 8 HBCUs that got threats and shut down.
Yep.
What happens when somebody decides to go into one of those places and they cite, oh, well, it's because of the way Nick Cruz reacted to Charlie Kirk, or the way Amazing Lucas reacted to Charlie Kirk, or any name your person who was out there shit posting. And I'm like, is this the environment that we want to have? Because I know some people have I know many people have saw the video and saw other videos like this. But how many people have actually seen a person die in front of you in real life? That's what I'm saying. When you see something like that, you realize this shit's not funny. That's what I'm just saying, that's not the thing to do. It's heartless and it's cruel. What happens if his kids grow up one day and they go and track down somebody else
Kill Bill status.
Right. Right.
Because people don't even calculate what's going to go on with them throughout their life and all the stuff that they see and all the shit that they're hearing and probably picked on and bullying, and we don't even know. And I don't know. I think that you got to have responsibility of what you're saying and think about the long-term consequences of the words that come out of your mouth, because when you are a commentator, you are responsible for what the hell you say. Stochastic terrorism is a thing for a reason, because people can say things to radicalize people. Like, I felt Rush Limbaugh was one of the most dangerous people on AM radio for the longest, because I felt like he was radicalizing a whole generation of people. And I feel like a lot of these people that we're seeing now, their parents listened to Rush Limbaugh and those mentalities, and that pushed a lot of these people hard right. So I don't know. I don't like it, and I wish people would just take a breath and calm the fuck down and stop this shit, because all it's going to do, like how you heard the Fox News people talking, oh, we're at war now. I'm like, war is who you're at war with, because
yes, with who we at war with.
Don't be like, oh well, I can tell Marcus in his background, he voted for all Democrats. Okay, yeah, I haven't voted in I don't know how many years, and then you're going to be tying me to, oh, he's a left and he agrees with. Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do that. Don't do that. Trying to, well, you're in with this side or that side. Quit trying to split people up into teams, and anybody that I even hear start talking about this Civil War nonsense, you're a fucking idiot. There is no Civil War. Everything is. You have two little pocket here, pocket here, pocket here. You have a lot of people who are one issue voters. There's no dividing lines of no kind of Civil War shit. So let's just stop with this nonsense. Because the Civil War, I already know what it's going to turn into. That Civil War is going to turn into race war.
Yeah.
So I'm not for none of that shit.
I'm with you, Rondo. I'm the same. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not.
Nobody's saying you have to like that.
Oh, no,
this is,
I'm
you
not
know, I know, but this is the disingenuous bullshit that always happens. Where like nobody's fucking saying that, man. And if it is, it's for clicks. Like you watched a major political event. That's what you watched. You watched a very heavy political event that probably has foreign state actors involved. And that should be the fucking focus. Not let's try and make this as racially charged as possible. Let's play into the divide and conquer. Not let's play into giving some of the most evil people all of our most negative energy in a giant fucking loosh harvest the day before 9/11. Like, just don't be fucking retarded about it. Like, that's all anybody's asking.
Yeah, because let's take this back a little bit. We were all just talking about, as Teal affectionately calls, the apple juices. Let's say that this was the plan to take him down, because for one, he's starting to get a little soft on his positions, and start influencing people on the right to start going against him too, and they can't afford to lose the left and the right. Well, and at the same time, taking down one of their biggest opponents on the right. Well, another group of people who they've also had a problem with is the 13% in this country, or 14%, whichever your percentage is, Black Americans. Do you want to generate the 10% of white supremacists who would like to end us? Do you want to get them going after us and have a whole bunch more Buffalo shootings and stuff like that? Is that what you want this to go into? Because that's not what I want. I mean, so that's all I'm saying. Why antagonize things like that? The only thing I do definitely agree with Charlie Kirk on is need to have conversations and discussions. And granted, you might be having a discussion with somebody who's disingenuous. That's possible, but let's use our words instead. That's what my last thing that I would say.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that that never mind. It's a fucking ancillary point to it, but yeah, it's you get a lot more done, and at the same time, it's become so much of the conversation that like if you're not actively disengaging from shit online and going and working at making your own situation better, your family situation better, whatever influence you can spread out through your own communities to make them, less and less dependent on the state, period. And the fuck, you're still just playing right the fuck into it.
Yep. Yeah,
and I'm tired of people doing that because it's fucking killing everybody.
Because I'm telling you, this is even if like and Shlomo said this, whites should get together and get the even if you don't get together and do that, how about just
listen, I've been saying that for like 3 episodes.
If you feel the need to just not do anything, that's easy. Even if you have this, because there's a lot of people. What do they call it? Divesting or whatever, and where they're like, you know what? Hey, I just want to be around my people and all that. If you want to do that and you're not trying to cause harm on others, perfectly fine. If you want to go into self-segregation, perfectly fine. But let's not add the violence aspect, the separation and violence. Even if you, that's all I'm saying. We're gonna see enough crazy shit go on in this world, I believe, in short time.
The government already hates you and wants to kill you. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to make it easy. Justify it. Like, Jesus, dude.
It's like that video I made a couple of years back about armed revolutionaries. I said, armed revolutionaries, are you sure? Because you're not going to win against the fucking government. This ain't 1800s. What the fuck y'all thinking?
They got real shit. The aliens gave them the drop, bro. They got their Call of Duty drop, and it's some wild shit, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's some wild shit, man. They got the Call of Duty drop. They got some phasers. They got some other wild. You're not gonna beat them.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that because I don't believe in us. I believe we could if the odds were even. Well, yeah, we give them a run for their money, but them niggas got some special super duper shit.
Well,
we ain't got time for that.
Well, here's the thing. Even with all the super duper shit, if you had enough people who were just aware of what the hell is going on and understood the game to understand how to play the game, then you can get numbers on your side. But they've done so good of a job fracturing everybody into their small communities that there's no way you can mount an attack with everybody splintered.
And it sucks, man. We out here in these streets fucked up. Government out here in the streets feeding us what they want to feed us, giving us what they want to give us, showing us what they want to show us. We can't do shit about it. Back to the Gotham City shit.
But let's end this on a positive note, because I've gotten out all the points I've said. I've been doing the show. It's really been. I'm
so happy Steve came.
I am too. I'm very happy Steve came because
I love you guys.
I always love you. Hey, I love you too, brother. It's always things that I feel like I Steve helps me look at things in different ways, and I really do enjoy that. Going back to our friendship that we've been going on for quite a bit of time now.
Man, Steve make me think different for sure.
Or something that that we've been going back and forth, and so I look at Steve is like my podcasting mentor in a sense. But I want to end us on a more positive note. It's something where we can go back and forth on that. That's nobody's gonna nobody's gonna be harmed. Well, not dead, harmed. The fight tonight. Who do you got, Steve? Who do you got to? Do you got Bud Crawford or you got Saul Canelo?
I'm contractually obligated to support Canelo given my Mexican. Yeah.
You brought a nut.
But believe it or not, a lot of Mexicans out here, there's a good chunk who don't like him. They're like,
oh, I know. I mean, he gives people lots of reason not to. Yes, but he is a hell of a boxer. He really is.
I mean, he's a hell of a boxer, but I think he's done a lot of ducking too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. What do you think?
I think I'm going for the underdog. I think Bud might be able to do it. I think
if anybody's gonna, it's gonna be him. I'll say that right up front. If
if
anybody's gonna take him out,
if Bud can't beat him, nobody else will beat him before he retires.
yeah, that's a fair prediction. It is. Yeah, and it is Canelo's fight to lose for sure. So
Well,
if he comes in overconfident, if he doesn't come in hungry enough, you could by the round 6, round 7, you could see a whole different fight.
if his intangibles hold up to like when he went up in weight class against what was it Midrobov, if he can hold on to those intangibles and the way he went against damn, why come I can't remember his name? Oh boy, that he beat up in Texas.
Oh god damn.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, dude. I've been doing too much UFC commentary and not watching enough boxing. But
if he can hold all that, and I'm talking about be twitchy and have those reflexes and be able to give all those different angles and be because in some ways I'm starting to see him more like a James Toney back in the day.
God damn it, I'm lost. Okay, I gotta go get my nails done like a regular bitch. Okay, I'm not that much of a nigga that I know this much. Steve, I love you. I will see you on Monday. God damn, y'all. Peace out. Love y'all. Gotta go.
We love you too. We love you too. But
yeah, no, I get about you.
Hopefully the world won't blow up.
James Toney is one of my favorite fighters all time. Just because of how smart and how slick and how he didn't look like he's the guy who's gonna do what the hell he's gonna do to you. Especially when he turned into fat James Toney. He was still a lot quicker than people realize, a lot more powerful. Counter punching was there, and I just think that if Crawford with the increased weight is able to carry more power and have the reflexes, hand speed and foot speed, and be able to use these angles and be able to get out of punches when Canelo starts throwing his power shots. I think this could be, his fight. Now, if Canelo starts catching him and he ends him quick, like if there's a knockout, that's how I see Canelo winning. It would have to be probably a knockout. I think if it just goes back and forth, just technical punch, boxing, Bud wins in the decision.
Okay.
If Canelo gets sloppy and gets caught, he could go down also. So there's multiple ways I see where Bud can win this fight, even though I still see him as the underdog.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely. I qualified my position. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, everything you're saying, I could see happening 100%. But like I said, I'm pretty sure round 6, round 7, if it's not a different fight, than the one that was predicted, then I can see it going Canelo's way. If it becomes Bud's fight, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round, then he's going to walk away victorious. Hey, and I have no doubt of that.
No.
It depends on what kind of pace he puts on him in the, yeah.
And then some people say it also could be, putting on that extra weight. Just because he put on the weight doesn't mean he could take the punching power the same. I think like against Israel, I think he proved that he could take the harder shots. But it's just a matter of, is he going to keep the speed and reflexes? So for everybody who's never seen us do, our fight commentary, this is a little teaser of some of what you see mixed in with some political conversation and all that. So make sure to support the fellas when Steve Weezy does it. And I don't know, you may see me. I do enjoy hopping in and doing fight commentary. I love combat sports.
And I don't know if Corey's reached out to X Cubed or not, but if Cube's around and into it, he'll probably join us too.
Oh, nice. I always enjoy getting on with you guys, man. And Corey, some stuff I feel like, man, where does he find all this information? Like, Great researcher. But on some stuff, I'd be like, I don't agree with you on that. But on a lot of things, I really think he's, brilliant.
Oh, he is, man. He is. And for anybody curious, if we're not 100% that we're doing it, if we're doing it for this fight and every other UFC fight that we call, it's always on my buddy Wheezy's channel. That's the What Is Truth podcast, YouTube, Rumble. I don't know if we do the
that would
fight.
be on Rumble. Yeah.
Definitely on Rumble. Yeah.
So yeah,
Weezy's going to be rocking out with 7 C's on the Charlie Kirk thing too here in about an hour and a half. That'll be a banger of a show.
Okay.
Yeah. So depending on how long those two go on it and where it goes, I don't know how tired and or into the high gravity modelos Weezy gets.
I think what was he going to be talking? What was it? 9/11? I think.
No, that was the other day.
That was the other day. Okay.
Yesterday, I think, because they had originally planned to do a 9/11 show today. Then the Charlie Kirk thing happened, so they did the 9/11 thing on 9/11, and then are doing the Charlie Kirk and the Ukrainian chick who got stabbed, which really does look like a total op at this point.
Really? Because I just took that as, you know what? Was it in New York, I think?
Yeah.
Just crazy shit that happened in New York. I mean.
Yeah, no, it really looks like that whole thing is a freaking another part of the whole like race war bullshit op and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. You know what? Do you think it's possibility that there is some crossover tie-in between that situation and this? Because I've definitely heard people who have been arguing the whole race war stuff.
I've seen a couple of pretty convincing, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, man, but I've seen a couple of pretty convincing things that where the Ukrainian chick had already previously died in April in Ukraine as a medic. And she's got all this like monarch imagery on all of her social media posts. There's a lot of weird, again, circumstantial, but a lot of weird things that just don't line up and make the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit, and you're like, it ain't right. And so I can see it to where if you had somebody that was had been in and out of jail, may not be in the best mental state, whatever, like either through convincing or even staging some sort of attack would make it way more probable that you're going to get a very, very negative outcome rippling out from that. Which again is, why I try to not feed into the agenda and discourage other people from doing that. I know that does upset some people. I know it does.
It's interesting because I honestly just took it as, what I see is what I get in that situation. A horrible, horrible tragedy that happened, from a very deranged person. I just looked at it for, okay, true crime. I see people, say her name. And I'm like, dude, stop. We need to stop doing this shit because the whole say her name thing in the first place only came about because they felt people were not getting justice. There's no way this dude is not going to be buried under the jail for this. But if this is an op and a whole different other situation, then there's a whole bunch of other things that need to be looked into. So,
dude, there's so much that's been thrown at us over the last couple of years that just it's designed to make us want to hate each other, and I'm it's not my fucking game, dude. That's all bullshit.
Yeah. Like I tell people,
real death or not, real violence or not, like the fucking mentality that now you have to hate everybody because that's dumb.
That's the thing. It could be real violence, but is this being controlled or pushed, or is something going on behind this? So like like I don't know. For people who know me, y'all should know I care about the truth. I'm not going to try to say this or say that. I'm not covering for nobody out here. The truth is what it is. Because when it comes down to it, I only got my creator who I got to try to, who I got to try to be in line with. So,
Yep.
And I get it. Many of y'all don't believe in what I believe in, so that's fine. But hey, we all gotta, appeal to whoever we appeal to and go with what we believe. So, yeah, that's all I'll say. On that, I'll leave it there. And I appreciate you again, Steve, for coming through. Anything you want to plug? I know we kind of plugged stuff already, but anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
See, we do in-person events. Please don't shoot us in the neck there. They're called Third Eye Carnivals. We're doing one in El Paso, Texas in about a month, October 17th through 19th. 5 bands, multiple genres on Friday. Michael Graves, who used to front the Misfits, will be playing Saturday night. We'll have a large live podcast panel, really good food and food trucks. My buddy Pasta will be bartending. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Tickets are available at thirdeyecarnival.com, and we give it away. It's like 3 days of live music and live podcasts and all kinds of good stuff. It's $75 for the weekend. So you can't beat that. It'll be rad. Come out for that. And then I'm putting out content on the AM Wake Up channel on Rumble 7 days a week. Most of the time, twice a day. There's always stuff for people to watch and check out. All kinds of different perspectives from people, all kinds of different backgrounds. And yeah.
Wasn't there supposed to be something going on towards the end of the month? And what?
The Rapture?
Yeah, Northern California. No, well, not that. Not that one. No, it was like something you guys were saying in I don't know, up north. I don't know. I guess I'll probably have to talk to Dave and see what I think it was.
Oh, well, we had a meet up a couple of weeks ago in Sacramento.
I missed it.
That was August 23rd. We got together and hung out. Would like to do the first weekend of October is something called the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival, and it's like 150, 200 bands, 6 stages, every conceivable genre of music represented there, and it's free. And so last year we made that a show meetup. We'll probably do that again this year for at least one day. And then we've been doing we did a Third Eye Carnival just outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We do one in Pueblo, Colorado every year. This is our first time in El Paso, Texas, but we're always looking. We want to do these everywhere where we just have, real music, real stand-up comedy when we can do that, real conversations, and fantastic food.
I swear if everything is not too crazy or chaotic and, the sky is not falling by next year, I plan on trying to get to some of these. So for you guys who frequent these all the time, and I tell you, I'm gonna be at one of these, so you guys will get to meet me also who haven't got to meet me in person. And it'd be good to meet up with you also. It's been a while since we hung out, so that'd be cool. Shout out to Warren. Shout out to Extra Bulla. He'll be going live tonight. Make sure you guys chip in and check that out, especially for the people who are on Rumble who aren't familiar with Warren's show. Go check it out. It's a good show. It's a fun time.
But I got to dip, man. But Garland Nixon was calling in the middle of the show.
Tell Garland I said, hey, I like to
twice, and
we need to get something together where it's me, you, and Garland on. I would love to have that conversation.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, take care, brother.
I appreciate it. Thanks, bro.
Have an awesome rest of your weekend. Cheers, everybody.
And just shout out to everybody who came through. What's up, Tom? Says Steve Marcus, thanks for a kick-ass show. Much love and respect. Much appreciated. So Thunderwood caught. I'm gonna have to look up that one, Rex. That's interesting. That is interesting. I don't know about that. But yeah, that was the show. Did you watch the game last Friday? No. Oh gosh. Oh boy, yeah, I watched that one, and it was rough. Hopefully we do better tomorrow. Yeah, for those who are new to checking out the show, we are going to be, our new time is going to be on Saturdays. I think this might be a good time slot. So don't quote me on it, but it looks like this might be the time I'll go for. It'll be early enough where I won't run over into my buddy Uncle Warren's time. And that way you'll be able to catch multiple shows. And then it also makes sure I don't clash with Saturday Night Anarchy. So I think this might be a good time. And also, if I want to go out later on, it frees me up for that, whatever. But yeah, this has been the Political Matrix. I'm your host, Marcus Young Morpheus Cage. Again, special shout out to my co-host, Teal Voodoo Priestess, and to my brother Steve for swinging through. And to all of y'all have a great weekend. Be safe, and hopefully we can put some positivity out there instead of some of the negativity we've been seeing. And even though I wasn't a fan of Charlie Kirk as a person, condolences to his family. He still is somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's husband, and he was somebody's father. So to the family members, I do give my deepest condolences to you all, and make sure you guys have a good weekend. Have a good one.
There is discrimination in this world, and slavery and slaughter and starvation. Governments repress their people. Millions are trapped in poverty, while the nation grows rich, and wealth is lavished on armaments everywhere. These are differing evils, but they are the common works of man. They reflect the imperfection of human justice, the inadequacy of human compassion, our lack of sensibility towards the suffering of our fellows. But we can perhaps remember, even if only for a time, those who live with us are our brothers, that they share with us the same short moment of life, that they seek as we do, nothing but the chance to live out their lives in purpose and happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment they can.